Welcome to another episode of the Curtis Zone. I am your ever so awesome host, Dylan J. Curtis, and thank you so much for joining us. Hang on a second, gotta change my shirt. Alright, that's better, everybody. We're back here on the Curtis Zone, and today we're giving a very special love to the Power Rangers. This is our first Power Rangers episode of the year. Today we are talking about the most badass moments in Power Ranger history, starting from Wild Force and going downward to the Mighty Morphin. We are doing the SABAN era of Power Rangers. Like I always say when I do episodes like this, if you guys have something that you want to add or subtract to the list, remember, put it in the comment section down below and we will get back to you. Okay, let's get started. Before we do, let's talk about some news, ladies and gentlemen. The first piece of news from the world of comic books, the first issues of Street Knights have come out, and it has been a great ride so far. The series is like Digimon meets Power Rangers, and I read it myself. It is pretty cool. I hope that everyone enjoys it because it is pretty cool. If you haven't bought it yet, I recommend that you get it. The second piece of news is this. The MCU is definitely going to be replacing Chadwick Boseman for the role of T'Challa, the Black Panther, and they are looking at Aldous Hodge, who you know as Hawkman and Black Adam. However, Aldous Hodge has stated that he is strictly DC, but Marvel is definitely making him offers. Personally, I think he'd do a great job as Black Panther, but that is just my opinion. What is yours? The final piece of news from the world of DC, they have announced that Creature Commandos has definitely been renewed for a second season. Due to the fact that the series scored very high with fans and with Rotten Tomatoes. That is just speculation though, it's just rumor, nothing is set in stone, but I'm hoping that it's true. Right now we are going ahead to give you a list of the best, most badass moments in Power Ranger history. We are going to start with Wild Force and move down to Mighty Morphin. Basically we are doing the Saban era. In future we will do the Disney era and then the Neo Saban era. We will do it all, everybody. However, we are sticking with the Saban era for today. We're going to start with Wild Force, everyone. And remember, if you have anything that you want to add or subtract to this list, just put it in the comment section down below. I will get back to you. I love you all. Alright, now let's get started with Wild Force. The first badass moment we're going to talk about happened in Wild Force when Cole took on Master Org by himself. Because Cole had just found out that Master Org, aka Dr. Adler, was responsible for his parents' death. And so he got angry and he took on Master Org in hand-to-hand combat and he pretty much won. This was a moment that made every fan everywhere go nuts due to the fact that we never usually see the Red Ranger take on the main villain until the end of the series, which was pretty cool. So, yeah, there's that. The next most badass moment we're going to talk about happened in Power Rangers Time Force. You see, sometimes the most badass moment doesn't happen with the hero, it happens with the villain. And in the final episode of Power Rangers Time Force, Rancic, the main villain, took on all 5 Rangers with nothing more than a sword, and I thought that was pretty cool because Rancic is a mutant who has the power to generate blades from his entire body, and he's also has super strength, super speed, and enhanced agility. And the fight between him and all the Time Force Rangers was one to watch. Every fan everywhere knows that says themselves that Rancic was one of the most amazing villains that they've ever had the fortune and pleasure of seeing, and that fight between him and all the Time Force Rangers was pretty cool. Continuing this train going, the next one we're going to talk about is in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue when we saw the Power Rangers team drill inside of an asteroid. I remember that because it reminded me a lot of the movie Armageddon, which starred Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck. In the series, in Lightspeed Rescue, of course, it was in the episode entitled The Omega Project. This is the episode where they had to drill inside of an asteroid and drop explosives into it and blow the whole thing up. Yeah, the plot scene's a little bit, yeah, there's that. Anyway, it was an amazing episode and one of the most badass moments ever because it shows the kind of technology that the Lightspeed team are working with when it comes to protecting the world from the demons. I loved it. You will love it. Watch it, my friends. There are two moments we're going to talk about in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. The first moment we're going to talk about is the first battle of the Magna Defender. The reason being because the Magna Defender had the best story arc in Power Ranger history and the most saddest. Everyone agrees on that. If you don't, I dare you to say otherwise. The Magna Defender's first battle was the most impressive ever because he took on armies of Stingwingers by himself with nothing more than a sword and a blaster, and he was able to defeat one of Tretcheron's monsters with nothing more than a sword in less than a minute, my friends. This was the most amazing thing ever that we've ever seen a Ranger do. Another badass moment that the Magna Defender had is his death scene, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Let's talk about the next badass moment in Lost Galaxy. The next most badass moment in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy is when the Lost Galaxy team finally get their hands on the Lights of Orion. And when they do, they were able to use the power of the Lights of Orion to destroy one of Tretcheron's monsters named Destruxo, who is considered to be indestructible, my friends. Not even the Magna Defender could defeat him with his sword charged to full power. When the Lost Galaxy team defeated him, they basically turned themselves into pure light energy and used that light energy to go straight through his body. I liked it. You will like it. Watch it, my friends. The next most badass moment, it happened in Power Rangers in Space, and this is not just one moment, it's a series of moments in one segment, and this moments are the moments of the Psycho Rangers. Here's the thing about the Psycho Rangers. They are basically everything that you are, except that they are evil and twice as strong as you. They also have energy manipulation power, super speed. I'm talking they are faster than every Ranger, including the RPM team. And they also have the ability to memorize your moves and use them to defeat you. The way that they were defeated is pretty impressive. Their greatest strength was also their greatest weakness, their obsession. And they're not only with the Power Rangers team were able to play on this obsession, but they were also able to play on this obsession with each other because they were obsessed with destroying the Ranger team. I hope that everyone loved the Psycho Rangers. In Power Rangers Turbo, the first most badass one we're going to talk about in that one is when we first introduced to the Rescue Turbo Zords. These are new Zords which were given to them by the Phantom Ranger in a different episode. The series itself had a new Ranger team, but the Rescue Turbo Zords were the most amazing Turbo Zords ever because the Rescue Turbo Megazord was the first Megazord that did not have a sword. It mostly had guns on it. I loved it. You guys loved it. It was a pretty cool Megazord, my friends. One of my favorites, too. If you want more on that, you could check out my top 10 favorite Power Rangers Megazords, which you can find somewhere up here. I don't know which side. Again, I don't know which side. As far as Zeo goes, the most badass moment ever is, you knew I was going to say it, the thunderous entrance of the Gold Zeo Ranger. This was amazing because this is the first time we are ever introduced to a Gold Ranger. And everyone knows that the Gold Zeo Ranger is the most badass Ranger ever with the most power out of all of the 6th Rangers, on every 6th Ranger throughout Power Ranger history. Because he has the powers of the entire Zeo Crystal. And his first fight scene was pretty amazing, not just when he went up against the Cogs and the monster Wolfbane, but also when he used his Zord, Pyramidas. Pyramidas is the largest of all the Zords in Power Ranger history, and I loved seeing it, my friends. Now, when it comes to Mighty Morphin, we're going to talk about all 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, but when it comes to that, it's very heavy on Tommy, so bear with me here, alright? The first moment we're going to talk about is when Tommy went up against Lord Zed in Season 3, in the episode known as Changing the Zords. Not only did he fight Lord Zed in hand-to-hand combat, but he also broke Lord Zed's staff, which was pretty cool, my friends, because he basically beat Lord Zed and broke his staff and took Lord Zed's Shogun Zords. I loved it. It was pretty fun. I loved it. You guys just watch it, okay? Watch it. Then Season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the most badass one we're going to talk about is in the episode White Light Part 2 when Tommy returned to the power as the White Ranger. The reason being why this is so impressive is because not only did he have to take on a monster by himself, but he also had to learn how to use a new Zord while on the fly. Without any training whatsoever, he had to learn how to fight a Zord, which was pretty cool to see due to the fact that the white Tiger Zord is made from the white light of goodness and cannot be destroyed by the forces of evil. The number one moment from season 1 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is Tommy versus Jason in the final parts of Green with Evil. This is impressive because Jason not only defeated Tommy but also destroyed the Sword of Darkness, which destroyed the evil part of the Green Ranger power. However, even though Tommy didn't last much longer as the Green Ranger, he was still a valuable member of the Power Ranger team, which is saying something because fans everywhere know him as Power Rangers Jesus. However, that's just from what I've heard. With all this said and done, another episode of the Curtis Zone has come to a close, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you guys have anything that you want to add or subtract to this list, remember, get in that comment section down below and tell us what should be or should not be on this list, okay? Let's really get in on the conversation because you know I love it when you guys comment, like, subscribe, and of course, share this with friends, okay? And as always, give some love to our sponsors, Coastal Waste and Recycling, because as you know, your garbage powers someone's world. I'll be back with more and more of episodes for you guys because there's no shortage of things that we can talk about here on the Curtis Zone, especially when you make requests. Somebody asked me to do a top 10 on the most iconic swords in history of animation, Japanese anime, and of course all of children's programming. So I will be doing that sometime in the future. I hope to see you guys watch that episode. So, peace.